Peace and love. Peace and love. Maybe I will get a few people in who are interested in building, doing some late night genealogy. This is just not sure what I'm most consistent with when it comes to doing late night or early morning, or I'm just like free about when I am able to build, able to work. Sometimes I can plan it, and sometimes it's just better to go with the flow for me. And I also try to be attentive to what's going on in the community, trying to be careful to find a place that I can kind of slide in and not be competing for space. Peace and love, Gretchen. Peace and love and honor. Uga, Uga. Peace and love to you, Chief Netcher. I was just saying how, I try to build when it is just the quietest for me, and my life is not as predictable sometimes. Yow, yow, okay. That's cool. I think that's like yow, yow, or yo, yo, but yow, yow is pretty cool. That's naughty. Hey, naughty. Peace and love. So I said that I was going to come back. I was on a little bit earlier with my sister, who is very hard to get along with when it comes to tutoring, because she wants to do everything her way. But she gets somewhere if I can get her on board to do some genealogy, because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of, you just can't always get it all done all by yourself and get in all of the places you need to go. It's really nice to get a partner that has a gain in understanding and knowing the information, because the point is to pass it, have it passable, to put this knowledge in the hearts and minds of the lineage. And so, as elders of your family, it's really important to have it in your heart and mind. I know that we were once a very oral people, and, you know, passing down information verbally was most important. So, so I did put the link in the chat, and I'm welcoming anyone up that, it's about genealogy, but we can talk about other things. But if anyone wants to, maybe you have a brick wall, um, and we can just chisel at it a little bit and see if we can get somewhere. You never know. Sometimes it's just a matter of someone else seeing it from a different angle. Sometimes you have tried the same thing 10 times and you've given up on doing it that way, and someone else will come through and do the very same thing you just did and get a different result. looking, for people. And so let me just put up a couple of these because who knows when you will actually have a who knows when you are actually gonna have your chat show up because I don't know when I am going to have my chat show up. Doesn't it? Doesn't. So I got some reading to do, but I am going to probably either do that after this stream, or I am going to do it instead of doing uh, help with genealogy. One thing about, let's see, Gretchen. Okay, something is going on. Okay. So sometimes, it's really a private affair, and some people are, not real keen on the whole thing of showing their uh, lineage. And, I certainly understand that. So the next time I read, I am reading from the book written by Carter G. Woodson, who also is the father of Negro History Week, given the acclaim of being the father of Black History Month, because he and his organization did, as far as we know, start Black History Month or week, which became a month. And he did write about uh, the relationship with the so-called Indian Black people or Negroes with regarding the Indian, but I don't know if I can't see it being that he is specifically saying that. I'm talking about Carter G. Woodson saying that the people are, but he is definitely saying that they mix together. But okay, so the next time I read from the book that he wrote, The Free Negro, Heads of Families in 1830 in the United States, I'll be reading about the social distinctions. And I'm just going to go over that real fast. That is, oh, okay, so the fourth section, right, social distinctions, is actually the fifth section. Okay, so this is where I'll be starting. Social distinctions. From the very beginning of the colonies, there was little social distinction on account of race, very much to the contrary of statements of many misled by the idea of the immigration of the Cavalier element into this country. Moreover, there was little, if any, caste originating in the social order of the European countries from which the earliest settlers came. I'm not going to really read. I'm just going to go through, finish this first paragraph and see just what are they saying. And for starters, social distinction in this country did follow soon after its settlement, but it was based on wealth, on the initiative of men who had the pioneering spirit and blazed the way into the economic exploitation of this new land. The country was in need of men who could conquer the wilderness, and fortunate were those who could perform their part in the struggle with nature. In the agricultural colonies, most of such persons were the planters. In other parts, they were the trading and merchant classes. As the Negroes were first brought here as indentured servants and only thereafter were debased to the statutes of slaves. Okay, so those Negroes who were first brought here insinuates that he is not under the impression that Negroes were already here in North America, at least. Some of the race became free during this transition and took their places in the communities with the planters and commercial classes. These fortunate Negroes met all the requirements of the aristocracy of that day. Exactly what proportion of Negroes became thus socially distinguished, however, cannot now be accurately determined. Okay, so one of the things that he said in that first paragraph was that Negroes were first brought here as indentured servants and only thereafter were debased or reduced to the status of slaves. So definitely he's saying that. So let's see, do we have, okay, so let's see. Oh, okay, we're talking about I think the coach and something else going on. I know Cab, I think, is referring to coach. Somebody come up here and tell me what's going on. Does that sound like hangout? When you talk about hangouts, then that I didn't think hangouts was still even available. But I don't know about that. So if no one here is interested in doing a little of their own genealogy, then I will do a little bit of my own. I'll be doing a little bit of my own just because I did start up and I was talking about genealogy. So maybe this will be a little bit of a tutorial. So I am going to go ahead and go back into something that I was looking at earlier. So I am going to be looking at an aunt's and I am trying to get a little bit further. This is my paternal aunt, and I am trying to get a little bit further on the Finner line, which is this would be the Finner line, spelled Finner and Fenner in most cases. Sometimes we see it a little different. So when I look at Diane Finner and I do shared matches, these matches should be because of Finners, people who have Finner in their tree. The most difficult part about looking at the Finners is you don't have a lot of people who have a linked tree, and not many people have a actually show the finner. You have to kind of work out their tree. So so what I'm going to do right here is I want to show you that the reason I put slash, like in this case, this person's tree has this would be the person whose DNA it is we're looking at. This would be his father, and his father's father, his grandfather, would be Lewis Smith Sr., that which tells you his father should be either Lewis Smith Jr. or one of Lewis Smith Sr.'s sons. It doesn't have to be the junior. But Alberta, her last name should not say Smith here. It should say Kirk. If Henry Kirk is her father, she should say Alberta Kirk. And then for me, I would have put slash Smith in her as like a middle name showing that she was married to a Smith. Because let's see. Okay, so one of the things we could see very quickly is that Alberta Smith is supposed to be, according to his record, and I always use words like supposed to be, so called, or things like that, because I don't know how true his tree is. I know he's matching my aunt based on her thinner matches. And I should see either a thinner in that tree, but we know that they were in Macon, Mississippi at some point. So it tells me he has two source records. And so I'm going to take a closer look. When I select her in his tree, I can see what the source records are, which are here. So let's look at this find a grave for her. Okay. Excuse me. So according to this, she does not have, this is what I'm most interested in. She does not have a bio, meaning if I open this record and view it, I'm not going to see anything about her like that would be on her obituary. So this source does not tell me a lot other than her birth year and that she may have died in Mississippi. And according to him, this Twan's 10, she is actually passed away in Macon, Mississippi. Okay, so then we'll look at the other source he has here, which says last resident is Mississippi. So this find a grave that he has for her that has her in Michigan. That might not be her. He may have selected a find a grave that was someone else's based on this last resident, unless she had a last, she could have had a last resident of Mississippi, but um, died. Okay, so this is saying a death index, and it's saying something about an issue year of 1952. So I'm just not very sure about what's going on. But Nooksby, Macon, and Knoxby, I believe is the proper way to say that. I'm gonna look that up. I gotta get that straight. Uh, Indicates more that she was maybe received a death benefit for one of maybe her parents. Maybe one of her parents passed away. So lastly, I'm going to look at ancestry member trees that Twines has used in recording her. And this is a person, Sheila Liddell. So the first thing I do is I click on her. Maybe she's taken a DNA test, and maybe she also will match my aunt. Let's see. So I would have to go and pull up my aunt, and so either it'll tell you here, either she is not a match or she has not taken the test. Ancestry does not show you, you don't know if this person's taken the test or not. So, and she hasn't been on for over a year. But the benefit at looking at her tree is maybe she has a better source. She does have the proper last name for Alberta. See, Alberta um, Kirk. And let's see what is the source record she has. Looks like the same thing here. So, um, so what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to highlight. Okay, she has a source for Henry Kirk, who seems to have been born in Pickens, Alabama, but died in Macon, Mississippi. So just because this information is here, Henry Kirk, who married a Mary Issam and has a child named Alberta, born in 1919, does help me. I can just do a search right from her tree. So I'm in this tree, and I can go here and I can search right from there with the information she has, and it should give me some possible information on him. So if Mary, um, I'm not Mary, his wife, but I'm thinking about his daughter. If his daughter was born in 1919, then in 1920, and it says Macon, then I would think that he might have been in Macon by 1920. So I'm going to look for birth, marriage, and see if I could find a marriage record that would show a Henry Kirk with the ism. So this is Mary Jane Cutts. It doesn't say ism. That doesn't mean it's not her, but I am looking for a Mary ism um, in trying to find him. Okay, so let's see. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, so according to, let's look at that 1920. Let's go back and look at the 1920 census report that she has for Henry Kirk, because it might have specifically the Sizemore, and it does. So I remember seeing Sarah that's in the household with them. If you see Sarah down here at the bottom, being like 70 something years old. So I'm going to view this document. At this point, they should have a child that was born in 1919. I'm not so sure that this is a proper source, but this is the way I go about looking for people. So this family is marked as white. There are, okay, so Sarah would be his sister. Sarah French, maybe. So the way that I would try to figure out this last name, it's not Kirk. She's supposed to be the sister of Henry. The way I would try to figure out what that last name might be is to look for it up and down here, because maybe, it would be some family. This is a very, this enumerator, it does not have good writing, um, but you can read it. I've seen worse. But there are other Kirks, okay? For example, we have um, Victoria, maybe. She's a female, and her brother James. He's 68 years old. This sister is 75 years old. So I wouldn't doubt that this James Kirk is Henry's brother also. Henry's 62. I mean, they just, and here's another Kirk that's 77. I'm going to say it's likely that that's a specific family. But is it the family that we are looking for? I don't know. Um, okay. So I'm going back to the match. And I am going to see. Okay. I'm looking at now his mother's family. And I am seeing that his mother's family, this should be his mother's father, is also from Macon, Knoxville. And there's more information for these people. Uh, I am going to, I'm very interested in seeing if these people are people of color. And the only way I can do that is to look at these sources. Okay, so this family, so the family that we were looking at for his father, if that was the right Kirk, then Kirk family, they were showing to be white. That doesn't mean it's not true, but um, but now I am looking at people of color. So this is supposed to be his mother's family, and Jacob, who he has. Okay, so age 3 is Booker. So the son Booker, this one here should be his grandfather. Okay. According to this DNA match, his grandfather is Booker. And Johnny is his, let's look at it again. His mother is the daughter of Johnny, which would be his grandfather, and Booker would be his great grandfather. Grandfather, great grandfather. So his grandfather, Johnny, married Amali. Okay, so we have Johnny being born in 38. Let me come back and see if I have some people here with me still. I can't come up. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, that's okay. Well, if any, I still see a few people in my viewership, so I am going to continue because maybe somebody is getting something out of this. Let's see. So what I'm looking at is I'm trying to, first of all, see if I can get Molly's last name. Maybe a marriage record. I got babies all over the place. Move them around. Oh, come on. All right, there you go. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so we got Johnny, and he's only got one source record for Johnny. What is it? A death index. Okay, so according to here, he also he would have died in Knoxville. So I'm gonna view this record, and hopefully I can find Johnny in the 1940 census here. That could be him in the 1940 census, and even better would be a newspaper obituary that might tell us a few more people. So this would be his spouse, Molly. Okay, let's see if we select Molly. Okay, so according to this record, Molly would be Edwards. So let's see the Social Security application. Here we go. So Molly, what's the matter, Mama? She couldn't. Yuri got in your way, honey? Yeah, she's sleeping. Okay. Okay, so already we have Molly's last name. So we have Molly, who was a Edwards before she was a Cockrell. So that is very helpful to me. Even though I have not dropped them in a tree yet, Ancestry will still give me suggested records for them. If I drop them in a tree, then it will give me better work on seeking to help me figure out who these people are. So, okay, her father, Ben Edwards, her mother, Rosie Williams. So let's see who was Ben. Because this DNA connection is not likely, it's only 46 centimorgans. And 46 centimorgans will be like a third cousin or a second cousin 2 times removed, a half cousin, or half first cousin. This is the likeliness of this relationship, 35%. It could be any of these relationships, but the highest likely is that it is a third cousin or, somewhere in between here. But when you're looking at removed, we mean in how many generations back. So 2 times removed would be 1 generation, 2 generations back. 3 times removed, 1 generation, 2 generation, 3 generations back. So in my experience, I am looking for a common ancestor that would be um, back here, 3 generations back. And this person, um, if he had had Lewis's mother, she would have been here. Okay, so he's only he's not he didn't show Molly's parents here, so I have to build out that tree to see if I find Finners. Rhodia here, she could be a Finner. You know, Lavinia, she could be a Finner. With this person, the mistake, and I am going to call it a mistake, the mistake that this person is making, and it will not help them. Let me see. Ancestry, one thing is Ancestry will tell you how long it's been. So this person joined Ancestry and has not been on Ancestry in over a year according to Ancestry. If you see here, I'll still send a message, but because I would reach out to this person and try to help them. Um, you know, I might not get anything back, but I would. Uh, so all I'm saying is that this person, in building their tree, they failed to put the last names, the maiden name. For the last name, they used the married name. See here? Jacob married Lavinia, but did he marry a Cockrell? It could happen. Johnny married Molly, but was she a Cockrell? No. So you lose the benefit if you don't include the last name, because Ancestry is looking for a Molly Cockrell in most cases, because that's the last name that you gave her. They should. I mean, they'll show you, um, as you saw, you know, they'll show you through suggested records, but you have to put the married name. You have to put the maiden name. It just helps a whole lot. So we know Molly was a Edwards, and her mother was a Williams. Before I go much further there, I would be more interested in um, looking at Lavinia here. So I'm going to look at Jacob. Let's see here. And he has 3 sources for Jacob. Let's see if he has, well, ancestry family trees. We can see if so Tiffany Best. Let's see if we have a DNA match. So she hasn't been on in over a year. Uh, she only has 1 source for Jacob. So we will try to figure out who is Lavinia. Here's a situation where she has 1910 saved, and they called Lavinia Lou, more than likely. And in 1920, they probably called her Lavinia, or vice versa, in one of the two. And instead of saving them and matching them to Lavinia to Lou, she say she just saved her again. You have to. It's better to merge them in the first place. But what I am going to do, I'm going to go with the earlier 1910, and I'm looking at Lavinia being Lou being or Lavinia being 25 years old. If you see here, there's a 70-year-old person in their house. That's what I'm always looking for. So I'm just gonna view the image right now. 70-year-old could be his grandmother, but it says his mother. So let's see. And I'm always looking for the people around them. So this is looks like the one we were looking at earlier, the 1910. So right, Lucinda is Jacob's mother. She's Lucinda. Uh, but who was she before then? So they are in beat 3, which is where I find my family in beat 3. Um, so they are definitely in the environment of my Finner family, who was also in beat 3. So I'm just looking really quickly to see if there's any Finners before or after. But what I'm going to do because of that, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and save a few of these to the shoebox. Uh, this is the newspaper obituary that shows you like all of these names. That's, you don't want to lose that. I'm just going to save it to the shoebox right now. I'll get back to this. I'm more interested in I have a hunch. Something tells me follow that particular line. Um, and so I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to use this opportunity to look at my Finner family in 1910 that is actually in the same census. Okay, so I'm going to go and this is my Finner line. And so let's just look at James. He was born in 1891. And let's see if he's in the same area in 1910. Sometimes you get, sorry, this feature is not available. You just exit and do it again. So here, he's 12 years old. He's in B3, Knoxville, Mississippi. And this is the same place. Okay, I'm just going to come out of it so you'll see that Jacob Cockrell's family in 1910, if you see here, 1910, beat 3, Knoxville, Mississippi. Okay, so we are in the same place. The Finners, James is 12, and he's in the same environment. So we have to view the image to see what page they're on. You can't see that from viewing the record. And if you can, somebody will have to show me that. So my Finner family is on page 13. And this family is on page 14, according to this, but I did just look. So, okay, although we have 1910 Mississippi, Knoxville, beat 3, there's a district. My family is in district 0085, my Finner family. This family is in district 0084. So they're still close, but they are district 85 should be, okay, so I'm showing the film strip. District 85 should be after 84. So this is where mapping. So here we are, 84, 85 right here. Okay. So my family is here, and this family is in the district of 84. So they are on the same beat. And this is where I need to do more mapping research. Where is beat 3 district 85 opposed to beat 3 district 84? So let me Google it and see if I can find anything. And let's just see. Let's see if we can find something that tells us this. This is District 3. District 1, District 2. Where's District 3? I don't see District 3. District, okay. Maybe I have to that's District 4. Maybe this is District 3. Okay, so this is likely Macon is District 3. I mean, I know that based on the fact that um hmm, I don't see it here. I think in 1920 Macon and Beat 3 are the same. It says Knoxville, Macon. Um okay, let's see. What I'm doing is I'm looking for when it says Macon, and I think I will find Macon with the Richardson family, which is the family that married John Fenner. I'm sorry, my great grandfather, uh, James, married into the, well, his family is the Richardson family here. Her family, I believe her family was still in Knoxville, but it was considered um, Macon at that point. Just so I can say that that is still going to be, see, Macon, Knoxville. I don't think they moved. I think in 1920, they just changed it from Beat 3 to Macon. Now this is District 86. I don't think that they moved. Knoxville and Macon, I think would be District 3. This is District 2, District 1. So this is 1, 2, and I believe this is 3. 2. So if this is District 3, and what year? I don't know what year this is. But if this is any indication of the difference between District 84 and 85, and I'm new to this, then I would imagine that this small space here because I see two is overlapping. Then I would imagine that this is how close these two families are. So at any rate, they're close. Um, the Cockrell family are close. Is Lavinia, is she, who is she? That's the question. Who is Lavinia? So who is Booker's mother? So let's go to Booker. We're in someone else's tree, but we can use this, make this useful information. Uh, Booker in 1910, um, and we're going to view the record to get to the suggested. That should show up over here. So Ancestry does not have suggested records for him, because what I would be looking for is a death certificate or something, that would give me more information on him. So who is Lucinda? What was her name before she was Lucinda? So perhaps I might find it in suggested records over here, where suggested records usually fall. So when you don't get suggested records, the only thing you can do to get help from Ancestry is to drop these people in the tree. So there are two Lus, Lucinda Cockrell and Lucinda Cockrell here, who married Cockrells. But what is their maiden names, right? So let's see. So I'm going to go with Jacob to see if I get suggested hints for him. Ancestry is not giving me anything. Let me come over and see if anybody's asking anything. Oh, Lady T, peace and love. I sent you an email tonight. Let's see. Um, Lady T, I want to tell you, what you have to do is create more than one tree. You have to create a tree that you can use to make mistakes in. And then once you flush out and try things out, then you go ahead and put that work into your tree that you've tried. You gotta be able to do that. But I did send you an email tonight, and I'm sorry about the lateness. It's just, it's such a peaceful time. Um, I hope you all are seeing some of what I'm doing. It really it really takes it really takes some patience and some long suffering. So go and look at your email from me, because I did find the people you were looking for, and I'm pretty sure that they are the right people in Missouri. Not Missouri, but in Kansas. So Kansas City, Kansas. But all right, so I'm going back over here, and you know, I really need to, at this point, Ancestry is not helping me. Let's see, what does his draft card look like anyway. Lou Benny. I bet that should be a V. So we got people who are transcribing these records in this database. Well, yeah, it says Lubini. It's probably Luvinia. He's a farmer and a minister of gospel. Farms for self and employed. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to. I think I'm on my other computer that you could just open this up, and he is employed by Baptist denomination. Okay, so that's who Jacob is. And let's see anything else about him that might be interesting. They consider him tall. It says tall, medium, or short. Tall and slender. Okay, no specific physical disqualification here. All right, so one of the things I like to look at that to see is I'm gonna show you is usually it'll tell you on those registration cards where the person was born. So let's see. This one doesn't. This one doesn't have place of birth. A lot of them do have the place of birth on them. Those registration cards. Okay, um, so what I have to do is I can just go from a search for right here, but until I drop him in a tree, it's really it's no place to save what you find that you feel confident about. Okay, let's see about this. Okay, you see here, there we have it. She might have been a Johnson, and her name might have been Lubini and not Luvinia. Yeah, see, Lucidia. I bet it was Lubini. But it says here that she was a Johnson, according to this, and I think this is probably right. Let's see. In 1930, says Jake. I think this is likely right that she was a Johnson. Now let's go and let's see if we can find Jacob's mother. Who was Jacob's mother? All right, so Jacob in 1910, he's 30 years old. According to this, he was born in Mississippi. And what am I looking for? I'm looking for some more of his family. I'm looking for some more cockerels nearby. I'm looking for a brother. Nothing, when everybody is born in Mississippi, except you have United States, and when you have United States, I automatically think just Indian territory. According to Jacob, his parents were born in the United States. Okay, but here's another cockerel. See here, Abner, and Abner is 32, married to a Ella. Look at his mother-in-law. That's good information. Uh, a cousin who is a Edmonds. That could be Edwards. But so we do have, you know, people lived close together. So I'm going to think that that is his brother, Abner, because he's 30 and Abner is 32. Both of them say that their parents were born in the U.S. Anything else useful? Farming. Both of them that say they have their own farm, which is probably a farm that they both own together. Let's see, are there any other Cockrells on the same page? Or Johnsons? Because now we know that Lou right here, Lubini or Lubinia, it could be Lubinia, that she should be a Johnson. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to flip the page. They're on page 14. Let's see who's on page 13. All right, so their neighbors are not Cockrells. All right, so now it's time for me to start dropping some people in trees, okay? So he doesn't have a father for Jacob. So this is gonna be fast. I'm gonna just you all watch me work, okay? Just watch me work for a few minutes. I'm gonna say what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go kind of fast. So I'm gonna save Jacob. Because this is a DNA match and I am trying to provoke people to get in touch with me, I'm adding him to my public tree. So Jacob is now dropped into my public tree. When you drop him into the tree, you just got him. You got to go back and save him again to get his family. Now, I know because I've been looking at this for a few minutes that Lou is likely a Johnson. I can always fix this. So now I'm adding Lou. I'm adding Lucinda. They have her as a daughter. She's the mother. You see here, they have widow, relationship to head of house, mother, and then they go back and put her as a daughter. So I'm not gonna add her as a daughter. They have her as a child, children of Jacob. She is not. So don't you just have to skip that. That needs to be reported. Okay. Now because I'm moving as fast as I want to move right now, and we know this person is the DNA connection. So I'm just putting a little hint in the suffix box, okay? And I am going to, because at some point these people should connect to me. So now I am going to add his mother, who we know is Lucinda. And she is, I know she could be a Cockwell. He could be using, he could have his mother's last name. She could be a Cockrell, but at this point, I'm gonna put that she married a Cockrell. His mother married a Cockrell, and I didn't do this. I should have did this when I saved her in the first place. I know that she is also known as Lou Benny and Lou Vinia, as well as other names. And I'm gonna put Cockrell and leave that blank, or I know that I saw her as a Johnson. So I'm just going to put it there. Okay. So now I got a skeleton for this family. So I know that I saw Abner. So I'm going to add a spouse for Lucinda, the mother. I don't have anything attached to her yet, but I'm going to add a father. So I'm going to put HUSBOF for husband of Lucinda, LUC, and I'm going to put the last name. This is just hold a spot for the father that's going to be. And I'm going to add a son who is Abner. And I am going to go back and hit the back key a couple of times. And I am going to go for Lucinda, the mother. I don't remember saving 3 children. I remember saving 2. Real quick, I'm just going to see. Did I save Mary? If I did, it'll show up here. And I did. Okay, so now I'm going back for Lucinda. She's selected. And I'm just going to save her to herself. Lucinda /C. That'll bring her up. Attach her to herself. I don't need all of this. Okay, that's nothing because that's not true. That's a transcription error. Save to tree. So now Lucinda is saved to herself. Now I have to go get Abner. But before I go get Abner, it pays. And it's the right thing to do to view the record and just quickly report an issue. Okay? What would I like to report? Inaccurate information. Continue. Email address. This is my personal email. The one that I use regarding help with ancestry for people is Empress Isha 999 at gmail.com. Country of resident is USA. And I'm going to just tell them here the issue is that Lucinda Cockrell, aged 70 years, is the mother of the head of household. And I swear I think they do this to hold us up. Not the daughter, as is indicated. Because somebody would have just said that. She would have been out of place. You might not pay attention to that. It had her as the daughter and not the mother. You know, you got to watch it. So now, okay, that's done. Now I'm going back to, now I reported that. Hopefully Ancestry will deal with it. And now I'm going to view others on the page so that I can go get Abner. Okay. So up here is Abner. I know, you know, that Abner, you know, it could be that Abner is not, but more than likely he's the son. And you know, right now, if he's not, I'm challenging his family who should see him in this public tree if they're ever looking for him. It's just his spouse. And as you notice, they give her a whole different last name. You know, it says it's his wife. And then I'm gonna go back. I forgot. You know, I mean, his mother-in-law is on there, but I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna give her her mother-in-law, right? So the way to do that is to go back to Ella, who either was a Edmund, a Coker. Go back to Ella and save her to herself, and it should pull up her mother for her. Someone in your tree. And that's Ella / Cockrell. And it should pull up her mother because she's written in the house as the mother-in-law. See here? Okay. So she should be a Koger, but you know, her mother could have got married again. I'm gonna just give her the last name for now. and make me a note. Um, but Rachel, her mother is likely married to a Koger. So I'm going to leave her without, and I don't need to save Abner to himself again. He has that record. I don't think it'll duplicate the record for him, but so now I have some ancestry is going to generate hints. So let's see, where was Abner in 1900? That's a more unique name than his brother Jacob. Okay, but let's see if we can find Abner in 1900. Well, here's Abner in 1880. That's promising. That's promising. So let's just see. Abner, this could be Jacob, um, the son, and his mother should be Lucinda. Whereas that, and that would be right. Remember, their mother is Lucinda. So let's do it. You let me come back over. Are y'all paying attention to me? Anybody paying attention? Let's see. Let's see. Does anybody know what it means when it says Ward 5? My grandmother was born. Okay, so Lady T, what I sent you on that email, I hope you still here, is that I actually found that Dolly was born in Kansas. I don't know, but when it says Ward, if it does say Ward 5, it's um, like a beat, like a section, like on this map right here. Like these are districts. It's like a district. A ward is similar to a district. It's an area. Like these are broken up into, like we have our districts um, that our aldermen cover. You know, so, but um, but an award means just the entire area opposed to a specific street address. Are you still here? I know it's late, y'all. Sometimes, I'm also doing this work so that it is a documentary for my grandchildren. So Jacob uh, is actually younger than Abner, I think. Yeah, birth 1880. So Jacob would not have been born in 18 on the census report. His mother probably was pregnant, but their mother is Lucinda, which is why I am confident that this is Abner. Okay. And I remembered that I saw the name Esau. Um, so I'm going to say that this is right. Okay. So what I'm going to do, opposed to selecting Abner, is I'm going to select Lucinda. And remember, I am trying to find out Lucinda's maiden name. Someone in my tree. And I am going for Lucinda slash Cockrell, born in 1840, attached. And I believe we got their father. I think I put someone there, not a new person, husband of, okay? And select. instead of leaving that saying husband of, or keeping, if I had selected this, it would say was husband. I would keep that there. I don't want that. I just want to go over here and type in Randall. And then they had a daughter, Henrietta, and Thomas, and a son, Thomas, and a son, Esau, and a son, Joe, in addition to Abner, who we see close with his brother. This is the beauty of trying stuff out. Like, I mean, I'm taking the chance and trying it in my public tree, and fixing stuff in the public tree is a lot more traumatic, because people will call you and say, hey, that's my, and that's fine with me. I mean, I'd rather somebody communicate with me than to not. I'm not looking at the hints right now because I'm going to just go back to the suggested information over here first. I find that suggested records and hints might differ a little bit, and so I'd like to see. So this is Lucinda in 19. She already, okay, there's Jake. Oh, she had other children, it looks like, too. I wonder if those are her children. Also says that her, just little things like this is important. Says that her father was born in Alabama and her mother was born in South Carolina. And remember, in 1910, it just says USA, USA, USA for her and her parents, if you all remember. So I'm going to save this to Lucinda because I think this is Lucinda. And I'm also going to take a look at I'm also going to add the name Jake. And let's see, yeah, so daughter, yeah, so she had two more children, younger than Jacob. So that means she is likely widowed after the birth of Terry in April of 91. And remember, it's very hard to find DNA. It's very hard to find uh, it's very difficult to find. What was I saying? Forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so because this father, I didn't pay attention to this. I don't think it was anything I could have did about it. So the only thing I can do is I can for here to add their father. If I just go add spouse and just try to add Randall, I don't think it'll do it. For whatever reason, it won't let me do it from here. I don't think. Let's see, Randall. Mm-mm. See, oh, see, it won't let me add Randall by selecting someone from the tree there. So the only real way to do that is either do it and merge it him, or I can go to him and add Betty and Terry. So I can go to him and I can add family and I can add them that way. So I can select someone and I can do Betty. It'll let me do that, but it won't let me do it the other way. And I'm assuming that that he's their father. I could change it later if somebody ever said she she married the brother or whatever, or she just gave them the same last name. Change that later. Right now, I'm making that assumption. So I still don't know Lucinda's last name. That's the point. So, but what has happened is now I'm getting other ancestry member trees. This gives me an opportunity to see if there are other people who are here that I've seen before, or that might be DNA matches for my aunt. So I just quickly check each person before I even look for Lucinda's last name. Again, Ancestry does not tell you if people have taken the DNA test. So they might not have a DNA test, and they might we don't know, but it's just worth it to check to see if you have a match. Okay, so as you see, there is no indication of her last name. They still just have Cockrell, and she might be a Cockrell, but we don't know. But I would like to see what other source they have, because they have two, okay, other family trees, and it's worth it to look, because the other family trees that this person might have might be different than those people that we just saw, but it's not. These are the same people. So the only way to figure out Lucinda, we have them in 1880. She was born all the way in 1845, but it does say she was born, instead of just USA, it does say that she was born in Mississippi. So I'm looking for an 1870 census now. She's probably a Cockrell, more than likely, anyway. So let's see. This is a Lucinda. Let's just look. No, that's not her. I don't think that's her. So I don't give. I don't give. I'm looking for Randall in 1870. I have no suggested records for him. We'll have to try to flush him out. They already had children. Okay, look at here. There he is. You see? Ancestry wouldn't give me that. Okay, so we have Sarah. I think this is him. Sarah opposed to Lucinda. John, Fanny, and Samuel. Let's see. So I'm looking for a Lucinda nearby, honestly, because she has a son in 70 already, according to this. So this Randall, John, Fanny, and Samuel. Birthplace is probably gonna be Mississippi, yeah. Um, I'm looking for more cockerels too, other than him. So I do believe that that is him. But right now, I'm looking for more cockerels. See Clay. Now page 60. Okay, see here. See, this is supposed to be like Koger. And remember, uh, his wife, I believe, is Abner's wife is a Koger with a K, spelled with a K, but I think that's, see, Koger. See, it's Koger. So that's very likely Abner's wife's family. They didn't have no, they wasn't moving around like that. So I think this is Randall. I am going to save it to him. 30 years old, someone in your tree. Let's try. So before I save it, I'm just going to see if this age is within reason. And it is. It's within reason. So this is not, I'm not giving Sarah to Lucinda. So we got Fanny, born in 1863, Samuel and John, 1861. Not a match. So you see, they are trying to give Samuel to Esau, and they're trying to give John to Joe. But look, that's like 15 years difference, like 8 years difference. And I believe these are Lucinda's children. I believe that their children were born after. So I believe Randall married Lucinda. So I'm going to put not a match. Create new person. So see, their first child was supposed to be born in 1867, 2 years after this. Um, so uh, it could be that if Randall had already started a family with Lucinda somewhere else, or it could be not a match, create a person. This Esau is separate. So here's where things get a little um, complicated and save to your dream. So I believe Randall has Sarah and and these three. Uh, so I got to give Sarah, John, and Samuel. Oh, so I got to select someone from the tree. And I got to give us Samuel. Now, okay, so now, um, all right. So the thing is that I believe that Randall. So when we look at this from Randall's point of view, he's in the house in 1870. with Sarah. However, Henrietta and Thomas are already born by that time. At least Henrietta is. So where is Henrietta and Lucinda in 1870, right? So this is what I'm looking for, suggested records. So let's see if in 1900, let's see if this person is in, no, she's in Kansas. I would be looking for her in Mississippi, and that Henrietta is actually showing white, although, you can't assume that they may not mistakenly put someone. So let's see. We're looking for, I was looking for Henrietta, but what about Thomas? I mean, it's possible that he could have been born in time, right? No suggested records, okay? Thomas and Henrietta could be stepchildren, but in 1880, I'm looking for Sarah and her children, right, in 1882. And I'm looking for them to be close by too. Um, doesn't say anything about Henrietta and being a step. Are there other cockerels? Did I look in 1880? Edmonds. So there's another way to do that, the cockerel family. So, okay. So one of the things that I did notice is that Sarah had a hint. Sarah did have a hint. Let's see, what is the hint for Sarah? So this Sarah is born a cockerel because she's only 5 years old. If this is the same Sarah, this Sarah, according to this, she should have been born in 1845. So let's just see. Right, a 5-year-old. So this cockerel in Itawamba, Itawamba would be uh, the daughter of cockerels, but this is cockerels still, nonetheless. And are they saying that they're mulatto by any chance? Are there any mulattoes nearby by chance? Okay, so I don't see that. So that's not the Sarah that I'm looking for, at least that I can tell at this point. Let's see. Were there any hints for Sarah's son, Samuel. Where are you in 1880, Samuel? We'll just do a search for him. Okay, so here is a Samuel in 1880. Let's see, could that be him? Well, there's Thomas and Samuel. Here's a Thomas and a Samuel. But that is not our Samuel. Okay, well, what about this one in 1910? Okay, so no, let's try John. We're going to try Fanny too. The kinds of records that would likely show up is, you know, marriages. Mother, Sarah. But, all right. Okay, so they're not going to be too easy to find, but it's possible. Let's try Fanny. Maybe Fanny is in a house in 1880. Okay, well, here is Fanny. Let's see. Okay. Could this be Fanny? Well, Fanny could have married a cockerel. That's, possible, but this Fanny is married into a cockerel family. I still like to, yeah. So these are not the people that I am finding. I'm not getting anything. I'm going to do a search for Sarah and then I'm going to let that alone. Uh, okay, so first of all, one of the things that I did not do, which is one of the things that you should do, is to not give Sarah that last name as her surname. Looking like maybe a marriage that where Sarah married a Randall. Okay. All right. So All right, so they're not this family is not easy to find, but I do believe, yeah, that this is Randall. Let's see if they got any suggested records now for Randall. All right. Okay, so I am not finding Esau is more unique name than Jacob, I would say. I mean, it's not. Look, let's just see if we can move on that part of that family. See if we could get something on Esau. No, so I'm gonna update by making his name closer to Esau. The Shields family. I'm pretty sure that I this is a person that I yeah Corey. All right, so we kind of at a standstill right there. So I'm going to let's see anything. Oh, sorry. I don't. The only thing I could do to Lady T, did you check out if you still awake and with me? Did you check out the email that I sent you? Oh, that's a great idea, Gretchen. Right, to cast it. That is a good idea. Let's see. Learning the correct way. Learning the correct way to set up my tree is so important. It is. That's true. Okay, so don't forget about doing a tree, because at least on Ancestry, and probably on the other some other databases, Family Tree, you gotta have that workout tree, and that's right. It is for the it's for the generations to come. Get them give them a hand up at this. If they have something to refer to, it definitely helps. So with this, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to um, end the broadcast. I I can't talk. I appreciate you all for coming through, and you know, just before I go, I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm gonna show you. This is the match, and it doesn't even have to be that it's the Cockrell family. I mean, it could be Rhodia who is the reason. But I'm just putting them in the tree because they are, they should at some point they should be a match. I mean, I should be finding records that will link to my Fenner family. So, here again, there's no reference to Rhodia, Rhodia's last name. And so, it could be Rhodia. But to show you, if I do a shared match on this person, Twines, it should pull up my Fenner family. And so all of these people are related to either the Fenner or Richardson, because some of these are related because of the Richardson family as well. The Richardsons and the Fenners coming together. And so the shared match on him might pull some more information. But so I'm just trying to figure out this specific match. And definitely Fenner matches, but I am not having a easy time with how, where's the Fenner? And so and so that's gonna be a lot more work to do. Peace and love, y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me.